Greetings, this is Superintendent Keith Marty. I want to spend some time with you today on some important topics relative to our wrap-up of the school year, our planning, and a future request from you to participate in gathering more information. First of all, before I start, I want to once again thank you, both our parents and students and our staff, for what has been a challenging couple of months. But again, I'm very, very proud of the fact that we did what we needed to finish the school year. I was pleased to see a lot of celebrations, graduation celebrations, some parades, and hopefully actually some face-to-face graduations here in late July, hopefully. We have already begun in earnest a lot of planning. We have got our summer pretty much planned in terms of when we believe we can begin to come back, perhaps in early July, with some activities in our school. We are going to remain closed through June or keep programs and students away from our schools as we begin some cleaning. But we hope in July we can begin to open up our schools to some programs. And then, of course, begin opening up and perhaps, hopefully, start the school year somewhat normal on August 24th. We've begun planning for the school year. We have a re-entry steering committee and re-entry work underway, in which I'm going to share a little bit with you today, as well as talk a little bit about some feedback that you provided us from the experience of which we're using in our planning, and we'll continue to use your feedback. As you know, we conducted a thought exchange, our second one, which we had great participation. 7,000 of you participated, staff and parents, and provide us with over 10,000 different ideas and thoughts. You're going to receive this, but I thought I'd just share some real quick themes that came from the thought exchange from both the staff and families. Certainly, while the e-learning was our option, a lot of discussion about the fact that it had some shortcomings. People did miss the face-to-face opportunities, and we do, moving forward, already have plans underway to make improvements in case we do have to go back to more e-learning, distant learning, or virtual learning next school year. So be assured that some of your responses to the lack of accountability in some cases, the confusion at times about platforms, in terms of expectations that weren't always clear, we recognize that and we appreciate your feedback in that regard. We also understand and really do listen to the fact that there was flexibility. I think both families and staff appreciated the flexibility that was allowed. But again, in that flexibility, sometimes that caused some confusion. We also recognize that there was and remains some needs to address the social emotional needs of our students, especially as we think about what the new school year may bring. So again, you're going to receive a lot of this feedback and the themes that were developed, of which we're using and looking at very seriously in our planning moving forward. The planning that's underway is really multifaceted. We cannot really look at just one plan. We have to look at the possibility of where we may be in August or through the 2021 school year. So in that, we're going to continually look at maximizing student learning, doing a better job to deliver learning in blended or in e-learning formats. But number one, and will always be our number one priority, is maintaining the health and safety of our students and staff. So in our planning, please be assured that we're looking at somewhat of a normal beginning to the school year, but maybe the possibility of moving in and out of different phases or levels depending on the health needs or health situation in our community. And we'll be using the St. Louis Health Department as our major guide in terms of leading us and giving us advice. In moving forward, one of the things that we're looking for you to help us on, and something that we're sending you, is a survey that is going to give us information about where you're at this time, your preference, your perception about coming back in the fall, both staff and families. So the survey that we're asking you to complete, just like the thought exchange, is one that we hope you'll participate in, one that the data is going to be very, very valuable, because in our planning we want to be assured that we're planning with your needs and your desires, both, again, staff and families and students in mind. So your preference or your statements right now about your comfort level about returning to school, your concerns that have to do with riding school buses, being in school activities, all these questions and the response to them are going to be used by our steering committee in planning for the fall. So please look for both the response for thought exchange, the themes that were developed, but also please help us to get more information in the survey, and please get that back to us as quickly as you can. The window will be open for about a week, but we really, again, value your input. Again, both staff and families, and certainly students in that regard as well. This is the only time that you'll be hearing from me or probably the school district. This is going to be a unique summer. We will stay in touch with you. You may hear from me more often or hear information that is posted. We ask that you follow us. You provide, again, help to us in our planning. We know that there's many different thoughts out there, and so we will be listening to and trying to provide options that meet needs for families that have different thoughts or perceptions about the future. And in that planning, as I mentioned, is going to be multifaceted. We hope to be able to meet your needs. We want to keep you in Parkway. We want to meet your needs educationally, as we also want to make sure that our staff and their needs and their health and safety is taken into account as well. So thank you for bearing with me on a relatively long message today, but I want you to know how much I appreciate the fact that we are working together as a community, that we are indeed going to work very diligently, especially in the month of June. You may have heard that the school districts in the region are going to announce around the middle of July our plans as best we know them at that time. So bear with us as we go through the planning, as we gather information and continue our research and our work and our due diligence in making sure that we can start school successfully and have a great 2021 school year. As challenging as it may be, we hope to begin to deliver a great educational experience for our students, for our families, and for our staff as well. Thank you again.